Okay, guys. Okay, magandang araw sa ating lahat, no? At ang video ng ating makikita ngayon ay isang patunay na naghihirap na yata, no? Nag-uumpisang naghihirap ng ekonomiya ng o nagkakaroon ng problema ang ekonomiya ng China. At ating pakikinggan ang video na ating i-play.
What is the background of the Sino-US trade war? Will Trump target the CCP in both terms? In December 2001, China successfully joined the WTO after 15 years of negotiations. The premise of joining was that China must promise to open its market, reduce tariffs, eliminate non-tariff barriers, and allow foreign companies to enter the Chinese market. More than 20 years have passed, and it has been proven that the CCP has completely violated all the rules.
Okay. More than 20 years, ang China ay binabiolate ang rules and regulation ng World Trade. No? Yan ang sinasabi nitong video na to. At
one of the main manifestations is that it provides huge government subsidies to specific domestic industries.
O galing mismo sa mga vlogger ng China. Ito, China undercover.
Especially traditional manufacturing industries such as steel, solar energy, and textiles. This allows these industries to continue production at extremely low costs, even when global demand is insufficient, and dump them in large quantities into overseas markets, causing a devastating blow to the manufacturing industries of other countries.
Yun. Ito kasi ang tama yung ginagawa ng China, no? Ang ginagawa ng China ay gawa lang siya ng gawa ng supply. Hindi na niya binabalance yung kapangailangan ng buong mundo. Ang gusto niya mangyari ay supply siya ng supply, gawa ng mga materials o mga goods na minamanufacture nila sa kanilang bansa sa China upang okay. Ito ang mahirap, ano? Ang China gawa ng mga product, no? O nagmamanufacture siya na mga produkto na hindi inaalintana yung oversupply. Kaya nagkakaroon ang naging suma total nito, ang mga ibang bansa na may mga the same product ay nagkakaroon ng kahirapang mabenta. Kaya ang iba walang magawa kundi magkasarado, nalulugi. Yun yung
For example, China's steel was still exported in large quantities in 2015 when there was a global oversupply.
Diba? Yun. Kahit marami ng mga supply, gaya niyang sinabi niyan, steel, ang China ay nagsusupply pa rin. Na kahit na alam niyang oversupply na, dahil ang aim niya talaga ay makrush yung mga ibang namumuno sa ibang bansa. At siya lang yung mag-i-stand. Yun yung aim nila.
Making it difficult for local steel mills in Europe and the United States to operate. Solar panels were dumped in large quantities in the European and American markets, causing German and American solar companies to go bankrupt one after another. Although China promised to open its market under the WTO framework, in practice, foreign companies are often forced to form joint ventures with local Chinese companies and share technology in order to enter the Chinese market. For example, if American technology companies or automobile manufacturers want to set up factories in China, they must establish joint ventures with Chinese companies, and patented technologies and management methods must be shared with Chinese companies. The premise of the WTO is fair competition, but China's huge state-owned enterprise system and a large number of private enterprises subsidized by the government have obtained a lot of privileges in financing, taxation, land, energy prices, etc., forming a government and enterprise as one competition model. The CCP also manipulates currency and weakens trade fairness. In terms of export prices, Chinese products are inherently low priced, and coupled with the exchange rate, they are more attractive, exacerbating
Di ba? Yun. Yung mga ginagawa sa China ng mga produkto ay mababa nga. No? Kaya, siyempre, ang tao, inahanap niya rin yung mas mababang presyo ng mga bilihin. At yun yung ginagawa ng China na mag-produce ng maraming mga pangangailangan o yung mga ginagamit ng mga tao, anumang mga bagay, electronics man yan o mga damit, mag-produce, mababa ang presyo para yung mga ibang namumuhunan sa mga karatig bansa o sa mga ibang bansa ay malugi. Yun yung estratehiya ng China.
trade imbalances. Therefore, the Trump administration launched a trade war against China in 2018 and has imposed tariffs on China and Southeast Asian countries again today. The background is a strong counterattack against China's cheap dumping and unfair trade practices for more than 20 years. Facing the upcoming tariffs, Chinese netizens who are engaged in e-commerce shouted, "The sky is falling. It is too difficult. It is really too difficult. Too many companies in Shenzhen have closed down." This company was engaged in cross-border e-commerce. It had persisted for more than half a year since last year. In the end, it still closed down. Now the office furniture inside is basically new. Others said that the US tariff policy has had a great impact on cross-border e-commerce. There was a policy of $800 tariff exemption before, which has now been canceled. That is to say, no matter what kind of small package, as long as you send it to the United States, you have to pay tariffs, and each one cannot be less than $25. This is extremely terrifying. They set a line. Each one cannot be less than $25, and it will rise to $50 later. Finally, let's take a look at the video uploaded by netizens. Faced with the deserted logistics industry, they don't know whether there is hope in the future. The off-season has really come early. How could it be so quiet in previous years? The current market situation is really scary. I just walked around the entire steel market. There are basically
Yan. Katulad ng mga steel, Diyan sa Pilipinas, ang daming nagkalat na mga bakal na mura. Okay. Mura nga, pero ang kalidad ay wala. No? Kaya yun yung sinasabing rin to yung kung isipin natin parang karma din kasi alam naman ng lahat ang ginagawa ng China diyan sa Pilipinas, sa West Philippine Sea at sa mga ibang karatig bansa na gusto niyang kunin o kamkamin o kinamkam na nga ang buong South China Sea, na hindi na niya binibigyan ng pinagpapahalagahan yung kanyang mga kapitbahay o karatig bansa. Kaya ito yung parang masasabi natin karma rin sa China sa kanyang ginagawang kapalaluhan sa ibang mga bansa na maliliit, Kaya ayun, marami pang mga bagay na titingnan natin,
no customers, and even if there are customers, they are very few. This year's market situation is really hard to understand. So I am a little scared. It's already past 10 o'clock in the morning and there are no cars in the customer parking lot. How do you feel? It's very bleak. It's 11 o'clock.
Siyempre, yung mga tao dyan sa China, wala nang trabaho, wala nang mapagkuhanan ng sweldo, pera na pambili ng kanilang pangangailangan. Of course, imbes na bilhin nila yung gusto nila, talagang hihigpitan nila ang kanilang sintaron para lang hindi maubos ang kanilang inipon kung meron man. Yan ang mahirap dyan.
Clock in the afternoon and the merchant parking lot is full of cars. At this time of year in previous years, everyone's cars had gone out to do business. How could they park here collectively? This year's market situation is really too difficult. The container business is finished this year. Fuhua Company, Panyang, CIMC, Xinhuashang, and other companies are all laying off employees. This year, the trade war began to increase tariffs, which will inevitably lead to a decrease in trade. The container ship operation industry is engaged in this kind of import and export trade, so the impact is the most obvious. Recently, I have visited many industrial parks and petrochemical enterprises and found that compared with previous years, this year's business is very bleak. In previous years, cars and ships were busy, but this year there are few people. Not only car transportation, I am now in Jiangsu, but also the business of ships and cargo ships is very bad. Many ships are parked in ports and rivers. The ship owner said that there is no business this year, the freight rate is low, and there is no activity. The logistics industry is a weather vane for economic development, which is very telling.
Looking at Adi, Anay, and Amay behind us,
Ito yun, pinapakita yung mga restaurant na nag-close na, no? Dahil wala nang mamimili, wala nang mga employee na kakain, no? Kaya yung mga ibang marami sa kanilang mga restaurant dyan sa China ay nag-close na.
they have all gone bankrupt. Do you dare to imagine how difficult it is to do business this year? And it's not just the clothing industry, but the catering industry as well. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you believe it? This is the former Sumida Plaza. Let's take a look at the current scene. At 3 p.m. on January 1st, 2025, the last restaurant closed down. All employees have just been dismissed. I promised to settle all wages with them before the 8th. In addition to arrears of water, electricity, rent, and personnel salaries, the total is about 500,000 wen. I made more than 20 calls half an hour ago and still have no solution. To be honest, I really don't know what to do. There is no hope at all. Half a lifetime of hard work has resulted in a lot of debt.
What is the background?
Kaya yan, no? Maraming mga netizen na rin dun sa China na talagang nawawalan na ng pag-asa, no? At biruin mo nga naman, biglaan na mawalan ng trabaho at biglaan walang mapagkuhanan ng pera pambili ng kanilang mga pangailangan. Mahirap nga talaga, no? Mahirap. So, titignan na lang natin kung ano pa yung mga mangyayari sa mga parating na araw. At kung nagustuhan mo itong ating video, maaring pindutin ang notification na bell at mag-subscribe na rin. At maraming salamat dahil malaking tulong sa aking channel ang iyong panonood. At salamat.